I just think people are running from issues, and I don't think in this business you're supposed to run from issues. And the fact that everybody's running from the big elephant in the room involving the WNBA and the latest with Coach Stephanie White of the Indiana Fever going on a little tirade during a post-game press conference because people were accusing her of not supporting her player after Sophie Cunningham was essentially, knocked upside the damn head by Dejanay Carrington.
Expose it. Stephanie White's fake tears and vulgar rant backfired as fans demanded that she be fired. What happens when a head coach decides to go to absolute war against her own fans? What happens when the highest levels of a professional sports organization completely disconnect from the reality unfolding on the hardwood and double down on a toxic narrative? We're finding out right now, and the fallout is absolutely catastrophic. The Indiana Fever organization is currently trapped in a full-blown operational meltdown, with head coach Stephanie White standing dead center in the eye of the storm. This is no longer just about basketball wins or losses. We're looking at a high-stakes crisis of public relations, a collapse of trust, and a fan base that has officially reached its breaking point. If you thought the tension in the WNBA couldn't escalate any further, brace yourself. Because the controversy surrounding Stephanie White's emotional press conference, her highly questioned response, and what some fans viewed as a betrayal of her own roster has now become impossible to ignore. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're tired of the constant drama, and let's break down exactly what just fractured the Indiana Fever. To understand the magnitude of this controversy, we have to start with the incident that shattered the trust of many fans. The chaos erupted after a highly publicized and intensely physical game between the Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky. During the matchup, Sky player Dejanay Carrington was ejected for a flagrant 2 foul after making contact with Fever guard Sophie Cunningham's head and neck area. Now, in any normal organizational structure, a head coach is expected to stand up for her player, emphasize player safety, and make it clear that unnecessary contact will not be tolerated. But what did Coach Stephanie White do? She completely flipped the script. White, who had previously coached Carrington at the Connecticut Sun, defended her former play.
Blitz today. And I knew she would. As soon as that came out of her mouth, I was like, oh, she's going to get destroyed. She thinks whatever backlash she's been seeing was an issue. She hadn't seen nothing yet. You're telling your paying customer to go to hell. And you can't try to backtrack this now. That's exactly what you did. You see, this team gets too, I've said this before, this team gets too much attention for her. Plain and simple. That's why I've said before you needed an NBA coach. Somebody that can handle all the scrutiny that's going to come with being the coach of Caitlin Clark. That it is what it is. Every little thing is going to get...
Let that sink in for a moment. The head coach watched her own player take a hard, flagrant foul to the neck area, and her initial comments appeared to defend the opposing player's intentions. The internet immediately caught fire. The backlash was so swift that White later clarified that she had not seen the Carrington foul clearly in real time and did not have the benefit of repeatedly reviewing the replay when she first spoke. But many fans were not convinced, and the trust had already been damaged. Instead of letting the controversy fade, the situation escalated. During a later press conference, White delivered an emotional statement addressing what she described as the hate, fear-mongering, and divisiveness surrounding her team. She pushed back against critics who questioned her handling of the Cunningham controversy, repeatedly emphasized her commitment to her players, and visibly expressed her frustration with the criticism. She ultimately told her critics to go to hell, a remark that immediately became another headline. For many supporters, that was the moment the controversy reached another level. They argued that a head coach should be able to handle intense criticism without turning the confrontation directly toward the fan base. And with the Fever receiving unprecedented attention, every word from the organization carries enormous consequences. Instead of calming the situation, White's emotional response gave the controversy another life, and suddenly the conversation wasn't just about a hard foul anymore. It was about leadership, accountability, communication, and whether the Fever's coaching staff understood the frustration coming from its own supporters.
In men's sports, that coach usually ends up getting his ass fired. Stephanie White could be on her way out. The fans appear to be done with her. We got to get into it. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit the bell notification, hype the video. That'd be greatly appreciated. Let's get right into things, man. We have to start right here. Okay, here it says, Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White was booed by fans prior to a game following backlash over her comments defending Chicago Sky guard Dejanay Carrington after her flagrant 2 foul on Fever guard Sophie Cunningham. Now, we all saw what she had to say, and then she went on this whole tirade before the game, basically telling everybody to F off, go to hell. As a direct quote, she told everybody to go to hell, and the fans booed the hell out of her before the game. You told everybody to go to hell, and the fans booed the hell out of you before the game started. This is courtesy of Alexa Philippou. Statement from Indiana Fever team president. The damn team president.
When the reality of her vulgar outburst set in, White tried to pivot toward an emotional appeal, claiming that she is only human and insisting that love will win. She desperately tried to project strength, stating that the team is united and connected and that they will not be divided by the outside noise. But the internet wasn't buying the sudden shift in tone. Fans immediately labeled her emotional display as fake tears and a desperate PR move designed to gain sympathy. The era of gaslighting the audience was over. Fans were demanding accountability, not an emotional performance. They were tired of watching the league become a platform for divisive rhetoric, only for those involved to play the victim when the audience pushed back. The backlash soon spilled into the arena. During the Fever's game against the New York Liberty, Stephanie White was reportedly booed by sections of the crowd. Online, calls for her immediate firing grew louder, with some public figures even joining the criticism. The situation had now escalated from a sports debate into a major organizational controversy. But this is where the story took another dramatic turn. With fans demanding change and questions surrounding the team's leadership, many expected the Fever front office to distance itself from White. Instead, team leadership doubled down and publicly supported the embattled coach. Team president Kelly Krauskopf defended White's leadership, saying she had done a tremendous job keeping the team focused and united under intense scrutiny. The message from the organization was clear. Despite the growing backlash, Stephanie White still had the full support of Fever leadership.
We would be demanding that folks speak up and put it where the goats can get it and get down to the bare bones about what's really going on here and not dancing around the issues. And what disgusts me, listening to so many of these ladies talk about the issues. You're smart, you're articulate, you're educated. You got facts, you got fervor and passion, you've got knowledge, you've got history backing you up. You got a whole bunch of things in your favor, along with the microphone and the lens to look into the camera and address it with the realness, the sincerity, and the passion and the fervor it deserves. And y'all dancing. There's one person I'm going to give credit for not dancing. And that's somebody I brought up earlier. That's Andrea Carter, my colleague at ESPN, who is sensational. Listen to what she had to say last night.
In reality, all of this emotion is coming from Steph White and what she said post-game about Dejanay, which she said it was a flagrant 2 foul, but she didn't think Dejanay was purposely going for her neck, and that Dejanay is a player that plays hard. That's essentially what Steph White said, and people were going crazy, calling for her job because of that post-game statement. And, you know, I'm so interested in all those people that were piling on and calling for Steph White's job in this most recent week. How many Indiana Fever games have you actually watched? How many games have you actually paid attention to watch the team and what they're doing out on the court? Are you calling for Steph White's job because of who she is as a coach, or are you calling for her job because you watched one clip and you're piling on and you're fueled by hatred and you're finding a space to exercise something that's not related to basketball at all? And that's where we are right now in the W, and that's why it's so frustrating. You can't just talk about basketball. And I look forward to the day, like Steph White said, when this is a space where basketball fans come to pick apart the game and the performances and come to celebrate the talent that we have, and where people are judged based on their basketball thoughts and what happens on the court, and their character is not associated with those things. And we're just not at that place right now.
Hot piece and butter. Hot piece and butter. You remember that game? Or should I say hot piece of butter rather than hot piece of butter? Red light, green light, 1, 2, 3. You're getting closer and closer and closer, because that's where Andrea Carter was going. She's getting warm. She's getting warm.
This organizational decision is a massive bombshell. The front office is explicitly choosing to stand behind its head coach rather than appease a furious fan base. They are drawing a line in the sand, betting on a coach who just told her critics to go to hell. The disconnect between the front office and parts of the fan base has rarely looked wider. Management is essentially telling supporters that, despite the backlash, the organization will continue to support its leadership while the controversy plays out. Even superstar Caitlin Clark was reportedly pulled into the middle of the situation as a peacemaker. Clark revealed that she had spoken privately with White, reminding everyone that coaches are human too and attempting to help calm the situation before it escalated even further.